Dear Millennials, the last few months have certainly taught us a lot. If they haven't taught us how to pass exams, balance our bank accounts or live successfully on our own, at least they've taught us that we're not the technologically brainwashed aliens that the older generations make us out to be. Why do I think this? Well, why don't we start with the EU referendum? At first it seemed ridiculous. Then the campaign started to gain followers. People started to wonder what would happen if, and imagine something similar to the plot of a Hollywood movie. Suddenly, those thoughts became more realistic. But as the day in question rolled around, we began to feel more secure. Surely something like that won't happen. They make movies like this for a reason, so it doesn't need to happen. And then, it happened. Britain sat in a state of confusion for a while. The United Kingdom was no longer united. But here we are, months later, nothing dramatic has happened, we're still okay. Sure, some tweets have been aimed, Britain is a laughingstock, but what's really new? We stand as an example of a country so disconnected that when everybody finally says what they're thinking, it shocks us. Hell, it shocks the whole world. A lot. But at least it's over. At least having Britain as an example will encourage other countries to talk, to avoid walking the same path as us. Well, not exactly, because it turns out we're the blind leading the blind, following each other aimlessly around the planet. Now welcome to centre stage, the United States of America. Let me take you back a minute. At first, it seemed ridiculous. Then, the campaign started to gain followers. People started to wonder what would happen if, and imagined something similar to the plot of a Hollywood movie. Suddenly, those thoughts became more realistic. But as the day in question rolled around, we began to feel more secure. Surely something like that won't happen. They make movies like this for a reason, so it doesn't need to happen. And then it happened. Again. As scary as it is, we need to look at the statistics. Let's make a positive out of this. In both cases, the Millennials, us, the younger generation, voted against the majority. We voted to remain in the EU, we voted for the Democrats. What did we vote for? We voted for gender equality, racial equality, sexual equality, trans rights, healthcare, economic stability, diversity, unity. We voted for our future. We voted for us. So while the results may force us to live under those whose policies and arguments we don't agree with, at least we know that in years to come, as we grow and we become the majority, our time will come to do something spectacular. So the next time that we get targeted, the next time we get labelled as the technologically brainwashed aliens, at least now we know what to say. We may spend too much time on the internet, but at least we're not stubborn. We may spend too much time watching TV, but at least we're not homophobic. We may wear shoes too high and skirts too short, but at least we're not sexist. We may listen to inappropriate music and play it too loud, but at least we're not racist. At least we look to equality, to the future, to improvement, and thank God, soon enough the Millennials will have their time. Woo! Let it out. Let it all out. Now, I've never really been one to share many opinions on politics, purely because I don't really have that many opinions on politics. I'm not a very politically minded person, but when it comes to things like the EU referendum, the Scottish referendum, the American election, things that are a little bit bigger and are going to influence all of our futures, I kind of do like to know what's going on. I like to express my opinions, I like to talk to people about it, and I like to hear what other people have to say. I feel like a lot of my channel is kind of more superficial, lifestyle, beauty, fashion, pretty girly things with sprinkles and flowers and unicorns, but occasionally I do like to make a video that is a little bit more of myself, of my thoughts really, and this was it. I have done the Draw My Life video and things like that, and I also did a Dear Tanzania video which you guys seem to really like. So I wanted to do something quite similar, and I know this one's a bit more risky because obviously Tanzania was my experience and I was just telling you guys about it, whereas this is something that affects us all and everybody's going to have their different opinions on what happened. So try not to kill me in the comments. If you're up for having a chat and a little bit of a friendly debate, I'm all game for that, but don't kill me socially, please. It's just my opinion. And something else that may get brought up in the comments, I am only 17 and I am Scottish, therefore I was not able to vote in the American election and I wasn't even able to vote in the European referendum, which sucks because in the UK and Scotland the voting age is getting raised and lowered with every election debate because they think that adding someone in of a different age is going to sway the result to what they want, which is so annoying. But come December I'll be able to vote and I'll be able to get my opinions all over this. Before I ramble on anymore, I am just going to leave because my camera battery is flashing and my gran and grandpa are coming to visit me, so that's exciting. Ooh. I hope you enjoyed this video, something a little bit different, and if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe and I will see you again next week. Bye! 30. What? No. Wow! They make